Hi everyone, this is Aman Sophia, Assistant Professor in Triple Department. Welcome to WITS Connect. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about dynamometer. It can also be known as electrodynamometer type instrument. Dynamometer is a type of instrument which is similar to the PMMC, permanent magnet moving coil. So at here, instead of permanent magnet, at here we are using two air core fixed coils which are placed either side of the moving coil. And dynamometer can also be used as ammeter as well as voltmeter. Generally, we'll use this meter as watt meter, and moreover, this meter can be used for both AC as well as DC. And dynamometer will work on the principle that whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, torque will be produced. Based on this principle, dynamometer will work. Coming to its construction, it consists of fixed coil and a moving coil. So at here fixed coil is divided into two halves, say F and F, and these are connected in series and they are having a less number of turns, and moving coil is placed in between fixed coil. You can see in the figure, in between the fixed coil we are placing a moving coil, and fixed coil it is having a more number of turns, and two phosphorus bronze springs are mounted on the spindle. Why we are using a spring over here means to provide the controlling torque, and damping torque can be provided by air friction damping. Coming to its working principle, as we know that dynamometer can be used as ammeter as well as voltmeter. So for use of an ammeter and voltmeter, fixed and moving coils should be connected in series. When the current flows through the fixed and moving coil, and current flows through the moving coil as well as fixed coil, deflecting torque will be produced, which leads to move the pointer from 0 to calibrated scale. So once the deflecting torque is produced, it means pointer will start its deflection from 0 position. And if the current passing through the two fixed coils is I1 and I2, the current passing through the two fixed coils, we are getting it as I1 and I2. So due to this current, deflecting torque will be produced, and the deflecting torque is proportional to the current passing through the two fixed coil. Nothing but tau suffix d is proportional to I1 and I2. Tau d equals to tau d is proportional to I1 into I2, and controlling torque is provided by the spring, and it is proportional to the angle of the deflection of the pointer. Nothing but tau c is proportional to theta. When tau d is equals to tau c, nothing but when deflecting torque is equals to controlling torque, pointer will comes to rest position. This is the working of dynamometer. So as dynamometer can also be used as ammeter as well as voltmeter, when it is used as a ammeter, current flowing in the two coils will be same, that is I1 equals to I2 equals to I. So at this condition, deflecting torque is proportional to I square, and controlling torque will be proportional to theta. At equilibrium position, deflecting torque is equals to controlling torque. During that condition, we can write it as I square equals to theta. By sending the square to right side, it becomes as under root of, you can say that I is proportional to under root of theta. This is the equation, current equation when the dynamometer is used as a ammeter. And dynamometer can also be used as voltmeter. So when it is used as a voltmeter, both fixed and moving coils are connected in series with a high resistance. Like high resistance, we're calling the high resistance as R suffix S, and current flowing through the coil will be same. So at this condition, deflecting torque is proportional to voltage square. It can be given as tau d is proportional to V square, and tau c is proportional to angle of deflection theta. At equilibrium position, we can say that tau d equals to tau c, and the equation can be written as V square equals to theta. By sending the square to that side, it will become V is proportional to under root of theta. So this is the voltage equation when the dynamometer is used as a voltmeter. And one more thing, dynamometer is having a non-uniform scale. Even though dynamometer can be used as ammeter as well as voltmeter, generally we will use the dynamometer as wattmeter. So you can see in the figure. So coming to the construction, it consists of two coils, namely fixed and moving coil. And these coils are connected in different circuits. The fixed coil is divided into two halves and connected in series in such a way that they can carry equal current. At here we are calling the fixed coil as current coil, and it consists of less number of turns. So if you see the diagram, current coil will be having a less number of turns, and the moving coil is connected across the supply mains, which carries a current proportional to the supply, and a high resistance is connected in series with the moving coil to limit the current to small value. And the moving coil carries a current which is proportional to voltage, and it will call as pressure coil, or we can also call it as a voltage coil, and is mounted on a spindle which carries a pointer which will move over a calibrated scale. And the controlling torque is provided by the spiral rings, and damping will be provided by the air friction damping. Coming to its working principle, when it is connected in the circuit to measure power, the current coil will carry a load current, and pressure coil will carry a current which is proportional to the supply voltage. And these currents in the coil produces deflating torque, which leads to move the pointer from its zero position. The pointer comes to rest position when the deflecting torque is equals to controlling torque. So let us consider fixed coil carries a current of I1 and moving coil is carrying current of I2, which is proportional to the supply voltage. The moving coil which is carrying current of I2 will be proportional to the supply voltage. Okay, and wattmeter can be used for both AC as well as DC circuit. When it is used in the DC circuit, when the wattmeter is connected in DC circuit, deflecting torque is proportional to current I1 into I2. So as the current I2 is proportional to V, we can write it as tau D is proportional to I1 into V over here. That is, tau D is proportional to load power. And wattmeter can also be used in AC circuit. When the wattmeter is connected in AC circuit, the power factor cos pi is taking into the consideration, and deflecting torque will be proportional to I1 into I2 into cos pi. So it can be given as I2 is proportional to V, the deflecting torque can be given as tau D is proportional to I1 into V into cos pi. So I1 into V into cos pi nothing but load power. So we can say the deflecting torque will be proportional to the load power. Hence, whether the instrument is used to measure DC and AC power, deflecting power torque will be proportional to load power in wattmeter. Coming to the advantages of wattmeter, it can be used for both AC as well as DC, and it is free from hysteresis error. When it will be free from hysteresis error means when it is used in AC circuit. And ammeter can be constructed up to 10 amperes, and voltmeter can be constructed up to 600 volts. These are the advantages of wattmeter. Coming to the disadvantages, it is more expensive than PMMC instrument, and it consumes high power, and it is having a non-uniform scale. These are the disadvantages. And coming to the errors in dynamometer, there are four types of errors. The first one is temperature error, frequency error, frictional error, and error due to the eddy current. There are the four types of error which are existing in dynamometer. Coming to the measurement of power, the power in DC circuit, the power taken by the load is given by the product of ammeter and voltmeter, it can be given as P is equals to VI, and power can be measured in watts. In AC circuit, coming to an AC circuit, instantaneous power varies continuously. So why? Because we are taking the time, we are taking the, if we'll take the graph means we'll take voltage as well as time period, right? So that's the reason it will be varies continuously. However, it is not taken into the consideration, but average power of value will be taken into the consideration. While we are taking the power, will not take the instantaneous value. Instead of that, we'll prefer average power value, and we'll consider power factor, that is cos pi of the load. And AC circuit may be single phase as well as three phase, and power can be given as P is equals to VI cos pi over here. Here V is nothing but RMS value of voltage in volts, and I is the RMS value of current in amperes, and cos pi will be the cosine of angle between voltage and current. Now let us see the measurement of power in a single phase AC circuit with wattmeter. Coming to its construction, a wattmeter is a combination of an ammeter and voltmeter, and it consists of two coils, this is current coil and pressure coil. Current coil is connected in series with the load, which carries a current to be measured. And coming to the pressure coil, it is connected across the load or supply mains, and a high resistance is connected in series with the pressure coil to limit the current to a safe value. This is about its construction. Coming to its working principle, when the wattmeter is connected in a circuit to measure power, the operating torque is produced due to the interaction of fluxes in current coil as well as pressure coil, which leads the pointer to move on the scale. The wattmeter gives the reading, so which will be proportional to the current I flowing through its current coil, and potential difference V across the pressure coil, and cosine of angle between current as well as voltage. So that means at here power P can be given as VI cos theta, where V is the potential difference across pressure coil in volts, and I is the current flowing through the current coil in amperes, and cos theta is the angle between voltage and current.